If you like marking the seasons in your home, but you've moved away from novelty decor or anything that's just too over-themed, then this video is for you. Dunelm is usually one of my go-to stores, but I'll be honest, at first glance this time, I wasn't convinced there'd be very much to show you. I was really looking for some spring pieces that feel calm, elevated, and just quietly seasonal. Things that will freshen your home without it feeling like Easter has completely taken over. But once I slowed down and I looked a little bit more carefully, I did find a few gems that really surprised me. So let me show you what I uncovered. But just before we do that, it's worth saying that for me, spring decorating is really about giving your home a bit of a refresh. It's about letting more light and airiness back into the space and adding just a small touch of greenery to reflect what's starting to happen outside. So rather than introducing a lot of spring-specific pieces, pastel ornaments, bunnies, eggs, or daffodil motifs, I like to think of it as simply breathing life back into the entire space. That's why I thought this range of wicker accessories worked so well. One of the easiest ways to add a subtle nod to the season while also just switching things up in your home is to gather a few pieces together on a tray. Only one of those pieces really needs to reference the season, the rest just need to make the whole little moment feel light and fresh. And these wicker placemats are a great example of that. If you were buying a full set just for occasional dining, it might feel a little bit pricey, but I actually love the idea of buying just one or two and using them in place of a tray, just to gather a couple of pieces together on. When you're styling a home, layers become really important. Just simply adding one of these placemats underneath a couple of pieces rather than just have those pieces sit directly on a side table or sideboard or coffee table or wherever. It just adds that extra layer, and that alone can just make the world of difference. I also found matching coasters and a coordinating tray, which just helps pull everything together. This tray really surprised me. At first, I did think it was quite expensive for what it was, until I realised that the legs fold out from underneath, turning it into a raised tray. And once you see that, the higher price point suddenly makes a lot more sense. I just love how light and airy all of this feels. It's such a refreshing change from the darker woods and maybe heavier accessories we often have out through the winter months. It's subtle, but it completely changes the feel of a space. You can see here the difference in size between the regular tray and that tray with the legs. Dunelm also had some alternative shapes of placemats. They had this lovely oval one, lots of other different options that you could pick to achieve the same result, popping them, underneath some decor. And they had a great range of trays as well. This lovely round one really spoke to me because it's a decent size, and sometimes you just want it a little bit bigger if you want to be able to fit, a vase and a couple of little ornaments on it. So I thought this was a great option too. Style leans more towards a pop of colour, then this chunky yellow ceramic jug might be absolutely perfect for you. It's a great size for spring daffodils or tulips, and it would really brighten up a kitchen or a dining space. And I also love this mug. I'm such a fan of a seasonal mug, and I'm always adding to my collection. And this one felt bang on trend with all the William Morris vibes, but at a really affordable price. I was really drawn to this concrete effect shallow dish because it feels like such a versatile piece. You could keep it very simple with a few moss balls or some soft greenery, or even use something like these faux artichokes I found, which are surprisingly affordable. It's one of those pieces that works as a quiet styling base. You can change what you put in it and get a completely different look each time. Much more conscious now about what I bring into my home, and I like to use the change of seasons as a reason just to add 1 or 2 new pieces, but I want them to be versatile. And this concrete range really works for that. It's got the lighter feel I want for spring, but it isn't overly seasonal. Pieces like this concrete jug could easily stay out right through summer, rather than being something that you feel you need to pack away once Easter weekend has passed. I really like these little wooden heart ornaments. They're perfect layered on top of a stack of books, or as that smaller finishing piece when you've pulled together a few things on a tray. Simple, neutral, and really easy to style. And I also love these storage boxes designed to look like books. They're such a useful thing to have in your decor collection. I've got a similar set and I use them all the time. They're lovely to bring in softer, lighter colours without it feeling like obvious seasonal decor. I love this hair ornament. It feels like the perfect compromise if you want to add a touch of spring without it feeling childish. The neutral wood effect keeps it very grown up looking. You're not having to lean into pastels, but you still get that seasonal nod. Hairs are such a symbol of spring, and because it's not an Easter bunny, it's a piece you could happily leave out well beyond Easter. Adding even a small touch of greenery around your home can make such a difference at this time of year. It just helps connect your space to what's happening outside, and it instantly makes everything feel fresher. Dunelm usually has a great selection, although it can feel a little bit overwhelming. I tend to head straight for the greenery, or occasionally a soft pop of yellow or maybe a little splash of chartreuse green. A door wreath is one of the easiest ways to tie your home to the seasons because it's such a simple switch to make, and Dunelm has some really good options. I was drawn to this one in particular. It's a smaller wreath, and that makes it really easy to tuck into different spaces. It was really affordable too. I also love these budding, flowering branches. I'm always drawn to this style because they can look incredibly realistic, and again they really mimic what's starting to happen on the trees outside. I've got a few very similar ones that I bring out every spring and I use them year after year. This catkins branch really caught my eye. It's got such a lovely soft drapey quality to it. It would look lovely displayed in a vase, but I also like using stems laid flat to dress a mantle, letting them gently drape over the edge. It pairs beautifully with the green witch hazel sprays as well. That combination feels very natural and very spring-like. Here's another stem I thought would be really useful to have in your decor collection, especially for spring, and that is this Spanish moss twig. It works beautifully in a vase or laid flat to add a bit of bulk to a spring mantle display, and at £3.50 it's so well priced and just so versatile. This was a really surprising find for me. I'm not sure how long Dunelm have been doing these, but I don't think I've ever spotted them before. And it's this collection of trailing plants and leaves. They're such a useful thing to have in your decor collection because they work right across the seasons. And I've got a few similar pieces that I use all the time, either for creating mantle displays or simply popping them into a vase. There are a few different styles available, but the most versatile for me are the trailing needles. They look great as part of a spring or a summer display, but because they also mimic pine needles, they work beautifully with winter and Christmas decor too. Faux plant section in Dunelm is definitely worth a look. I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a self-confessed plant killer indoors. I've got a green thumb outside, but inside it's a different story. And sometimes it's not you at all, you know, darker corners without much natural light or spots near radiators, they just aren't ideal for real plants. And in those cases, faux plants can just be your best option, and they can look so realistic now. I particularly love the string of pearls styles. I've got a few of those at home, and I use them a lot in my spring decor, even popping the pot, you know, on top of a candlestick just to give it a bit of extra height. Switching up your soft furnishings is one of the easiest ways to give your home a seasonal refresh, whether that's your throws, your cushions, or even just your cushion covers, and Dunelm's got some really good options for this. I particularly loved this green waffle throw as well as the boucle style one. At this time of year it can still be really quite cold outside, and while we want our spaces to feel lighter for spring, we still want something cosy to reach for when we're curled up on the sofa, and I always give throws a proper softness test. Some look lovely but feel quite harsh, but these ones passed with flying colours. Dunelm had some great options if you're looking for just a hint of that William Morris feel that's so on trend right now. I do think cushions tend to look more elevated with a feather pad, and these don't come with one, but you could easily swap the inner out. Dunelm gives you a really affordable starting point to create that much more upscale look. If you're enjoying this video and getting some ideas from it, I'd love for you to join me here more regularly in this little corner of YouTube. Everything I share is about helping you make home your haven, especially for those of us in this third act of life where having a soft place to land, a home that brings us joy and supports how we want to live, becomes such an important part of thriving in this season of life. This little treasure hunt today reminded me how easy it is to walk into a store, do a quick first pass, and assume that if you don't immediately see what you're looking for, then it's just not there, especially at this time of year when the obvious seasonal sections can feel a little too novelty-led for some tastes. But once I slowed down and started looking beyond those areas, that's when I realised so many of the best pieces were actually hidden in plain sight, sitting quietly on the shelves, just not where you'd instinctively expect to find them. Sometimes it's those less obvious pieces that end up being the most useful and the most loved. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.